There's actually an article. There's actually an article courtesy of New York Times about my favorite club, Berghain, actually, which I want to go over, of course, because why the hell not? This is courtesy of the New York Times. The title of the report is Audience Report at Berghain. They've been waiting in line for 20 years. Big up this. I guess this is an article in line to celebrate the 20th birthday as well. So big up New York Times, written by someone called Finn Cohen. Berlin after the wall came down was a breeding ground for the experimentation of electronic music, and by the early 2000s, a purist stance towards techno was bubbling in response to the genres like acid house, trance, and house. An old power station in the city was reborn as Berghain, a now infamous club that celebrates its 20th year birthday this weekend, or this past weekend. Known as much for its debauchery, sex in designated rooms, or just the dance floor, plenty of drugs for the masses, and as for its embrace of its hard, sleek industrial style of techno, the club turned its long lines for entry into epic parties with ice cream bars and an ear-blistering sound system. Berghain's flagship night, Club Nut, featuring a continuous stream of DJs in 2 rooms over days. A Saturday night entrance could result in a Monday morning exit for some. Yeah, big up. I like this article. The article seems pretty cool so far. Obviously, you know, we know what the place that we're talking about here, Berghain. Obviously, you know, the club, you know, the space. Jesus, look at these guys here. They are absolutely ripping out of their harnesses. Yeah, man, everybody's out here doing the thing. You know what the vibes are. You see what people are doing out here. You see the vibes. You see the fucking talent. You know Wagwan. You know Wagwan. Let's continue. The club bans photography inside. These photos were taken outside over one November weekend, and bouncers cover cell phone cameras with stickers. This gives club goers more freedom to lose themselves in music and vibe. It's long been a place for both personal expression and a broader expansion of a club culture, said Matthias Pazdziani, a musicology professor in Berlin University of Arts, who was focused on the history of techno. He explained that Berghain represents the axis of social and political transformation that emerged at the end of the Iron Curtain. In the 18th century, the youth of the world traveled to Rome. This guy says, today, he said, they come to Berlin for club culture. That's incredible. That's an incredible analogy to make, mate. Berlin being the new Rome culturally is fucking incredible. Berghain is the Philharmonie of clubs. He says it's truly a music centered and pioneer of the good sound system at techno events. It truly is music centered and a pioneer of a good sound system at techno events, which I definitely agree. I think that's probably the reason why the club is still existing in its current iteration the way it is, and it's kind of with every generation it kind of gets reinvented but stays the same, is because it's centered in music. I think that's something I was thinking about the other day when I was watching the interview of Lil Baby, interview with Lil Yachty, and his interview with Charlemagne the God, and obviously academics talking about it, and essentially everyone's asking the same question: what happened to Lil Baby? Why isn't he as good as he was before? And to be honest, the only thing that happened to Lil Baby wasn't the pictures with Michael Rubin. It wasn't maybe some of the weird interviews where he kind of comes across like he's maybe not that smart or whatever. No, the thing that happened that affected Lil Baby was just the music never improved, or the music got considerably worse over time. It wasn't as good as when he first came around the scene. That was it. Nothing else changed. If he just focuses on trying to make good music again, if he focuses on trying to rap at the level that he was rapping previously again, or maybe try to up the levels, he'll be fine. The same thing happened to Gunna. When Gunna came out of prison after the snitching thing, he just went back into the studio and started to make really good music, and then that made people forget about the snitching thing. But that's all it takes. It just takes good music and centering yourself on the thing that got you to the dance is the most important thing, and Berghain knew that. They know what got them to the dance, they know who kind of serves them the best, and they still serve that community in terms of the LGBTQ queer scene. It's still centered on music for the most part. It's not a very hypey place. They still book people. I still see a ton of people. I think the most recent one is DJ Maria. DJ Maria's whole entire life has been completely changed, I feel like, from looking on the outside in. Because I remember when she first got booked at Berghain, when I checked her Instagram, she might have had like, I think 1,000 followers. I think so. She wasn't that well known at all, and I don't know how they booked her. I don't know if she's a friend of somebody or somebody recommended her, but ever since she's been booked at Berghain, her life has kind of gone, her career's gone skyrocketed, and she's always booked and busy. So that's proof that they don't just go for the hype person. They just kind of, they pick people based on who they like and shit. I think even someone like, look at Peggy Gou. Peggy Gou is one of the biggest DJs in the world in terms of popularity, and she also lives there, but I don't think she's ever played in Berghain. So that's also again proof that they don't always go for the hype, which is kind of the reason why they're probably still around and still thriving. So big up Berghain for that. It grows on. Thanks to Berghain, clubs with a curated DJ program are no longer treated like brothels and gambling halls, but a cultural venues. Philip Sherburn, a contributing editor at Pitchfork, who's written extensively on dance music culture and who has been a DJ at Berghain, lived in Berlin from 2008 to 2012. He said the club's imprint was sonic but also social. Yeah, exactly. And this person would know. From time he's lived around, or he went there during the peak, I'd guess. And if he's saying it's still sick, then it means it's still sick. Look at some of these portraits. These are really good pictures, by the way, of the people that go there. Really good fucking portraits and pictures. I love the range of ages too. Not everybody here is super young and hot looking. There are some kind of, older folks as well. Obviously people are still hot looking, but I love the range. It's always been a kind of symbol of queer culture, a space where people are free to be themselves and do what they want to do, kind of outside the way from peering eyes, says Sherburn. This guy's tattoos are really cool. I also love that guy's gold teeth there. Berghain was certainly not the kind of queer epicenter of the world, Sherburn says, but it was the important one from the 2000s, in the 2010s particularly. Musically, it was a space that really defined a certain aesthetic, Sherburn said. It defined a style of severe and stripped down techno in, again, the late 2000s and early 2010s, and really helped give that style a kind of global footing. Yeah, look at this. These pictures are really nice, man. I love her nails, by the way. I love this girl's nails. The bare colors are pretty cool. And you know me, I got a thing about white girls with fucking dreads. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I love the fucking things. Laura Bossov, 24, a social media manager and tattoo artist who stood in line at the recent Saturday night, described it as a form of worship. Berghain is a type of aura created by the people that go there that makes it a truly spiritual experience every time I go, and leaves me with this feeling that as if you're coming out of a spa just for the soul. I love that. That's a good description, by the way. People call Berghain a church, and it really is kind of, yeah, people cringe at this. If you say the word church in the Berghain community subreddit, you'll get downvoted into oblivion and people kind of scoff at you, but it is true. It does kind of feel like it, especially when you go on the Sunday. But for someone like myself that grew up going to church, that's a beautiful picture, by the way. The sunrise on the side of the building there. That's a really fucking cool fucking picture. As with many nightclubs with an outsized reputation, Berghain's entry policy is one of storied exclusivity. Potential attendees are judged by the bouncers on their appearance and demeanor, and with an eye for keeping out tourists, or famously Conan O'Brien. So the long lines and wait lines have a specific purpose, said Moritz von Oster, a Berlin journalist who's written about the club culture. Yeah, again, I think the door thing is the reason why the club is so successful. Personally, I don't think it would be where it's at now if every Tom, Dick and Harry was allowed in. I think a law keeps a lot of people. I think the whole door thing keeps a lot of people that probably shouldn't go there away from even trying, and the people that do go there, I think it gives them the appreciation when they do finally get in, that they can get in. Because I'm sure there are people out there, I doubt there are many people out there who have tried to get in and haven't got in and never got back, or never tried to get in. I'm sure there are people who've been rejected over the years but have got in at least once, so that one time is feeding them, and that and they can understand why it's so hard to get in. But if you haven't been there and probably don't appreciate club culture, it probably won't mean anything to you, and it'll probably sound a bit wanky, but it does make a difference. From the days of NYC Studio 54, has hardly ever been an important club without a tough entry. Let's say that again. From the days of NYC's Studio 54, there has hardly ever been an important nightclub without a tough. That's a good point. But that's a thing this is why Studio 54 failed, though, if I remember correctly. After watching a documentary, reading some books, the reason why Studio 54 failed, if I remember correctly, was that they then started to cater too much to the celebrities. So it was always a tough entry. I think Studio 54 was a place that invented the velvet rope outside of clubs. But I remember correctly, Studio 54 went down because the locals turned against it and started to snitch about what was going on inside because they couldn't get in anymore, because they started to favor the celebrities more. So the fact that Berghain, has a separate VIP line, but they still prioritize the main queue, is something that needs to be kind of credited to them. Like, they do a good job of doing that. Do you know what I mean? They could easily have people, celebrities coming in and out, but they still prioritize the main queue. The VIP stand there, the guest list stand there where they need to stand there, and obviously they still get let in, but the priority is still for the paying customers, and they kind of look after that and look after the main community that goes there. So I think that's maybe why the club's successful. Big up this guy's portrait, by the way. He's absolutely pinging. I fucking love this. I'd love a picture of this, to be fair. Super up close, and you can see his fucking eyes dancing all over the place. Love it. Berghain's also pushing the boundaries for door policies. I know no other nightclub where even their guest lists have to wait in a special guest list queue for at least an hour, and I think it's absolutely appropriate. That's true. I've even seen people on the guest list queue get turned away. I've even seen people in the guest list queue get turned away, bro. So that place is like special when it comes to that sort of shit. So big up them. Let's continue on. More pictures there. The pictures look really cool. The people, to be fair, I'm not gonna lie, these pictures, right? These pictures make Berghain people who go to there way cooler than what they actually look like in terms of dressing wise. There's way cooler outfits. When I go, all I see is black. The outfits I'm seeing here and the colors and shit are really cool. Look at this girl in the cheetah print. This one, like, everyone looks really fucking cool. Maybe when you're there, you're not preoccupied looking at people's outfits, but I think the outfits in these pictures look really, really cool. Even the personality is behind them. I feel like when I'm in there, everyone kind of looks the same. Maybe because I'm just off my face. I'm not too sure. But these are really cool pictures. That's something I need to do, actually. I need to start bringing my flask in there. My fucking Stanley when I go to fucking Berghain. Be one of those dorks that has a Stanley cup there with me. Jekyll. Okay, cool. That's good. So that our brother photographers who spent a weekend last month documenting the couples waiting in line. Audio report is produced by Julian and okay, cool. So is that the couple there that took the pictures? Jekyll von Vlaglen and Roman Gubel. But regardless, amazing article, really cool article. Big up New York Times for the scene report. I love to fucking see it. Audience report, courtesy of Berghain. Check it out. Check it out if you're that way inclined. Check it out if you're that way inclined, people.